Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Speaking of him, he asked, did you see Kinlaw's pancake on that poor offensive lineman?
I missed it so far, but you know, the plays that Kinlaw got in there, he graded poorly from PFF. Don't care. Stats didn't show up. All I cared about with Kinlaw was the power there, because he lost a lot of weight, the surgery, all those things. And I can tell you right now, power's there. Every time he engaged a lineman, you saw the guys pop back. So can he continue to stack these healthy days? I'm less concerned day by day with Kinlaw. Now, is he going to be a 6-sack guy or whatever? I don't care about that. Is he going to allow All-Pro Fred to return because he's just stuffing the inside of that the offensive line with Eric Armstead? The formula is set, and if he stays healthy, man, I'm huge on Kinlaw this year. Huge on Kinlaw. In fact, I just bought a autographed Javon Kinlaw jersey to give away at one of our road trips. So
That's perfect.
Excited about that one.
And you talk about Kinlaw right now. The one positive that I took away from the game was the availability.
Mhm.
Javon Kinlaw, like, you've seen a lot of 49er players, especially Mike McGlinchey, be eased in a way, play limited reps. Trent Williams at times has even played limited reps. Javon Kinlaw has been thrown in the action when he's on the field. He's been playing a ton, and so that was, to me, a positive. You saw Kinlaw out there in the preseason game. In training camp, you've seen Kinlaw play a good amount towards the second half of training camp, and so it's a good sign at least to see him. And the speed definitely is there overall. The athlete is there.
Yeah.
Now it's just getting the refinement in pass pro to really start making these plays, whereas he didn't really make them on Friday.
Yeah. What D'Amico say? Back-to-back times that D'Amico went up there, separated by like a week's time for press conferences, asked about Kinlaw. He said technique. And then he said it 12 times in the 2 questions about Kinlaw. Technique, technique, technique. That's all he's got to work on. He has everything. He's just got to work on that.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the big thing, right, with Javon Kinlaw in the entirety of his career, and it's not really something that's a problem. It's just he hasn't been given the chance because he hasn't been on the field. So when you talk about Javon Kinlaw and technique, that is where, reps is where he's going to get it through, which is why it's good to see him available on the field.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm excited. I'm very excited about this defensive line. The fact that Robert Nkemdiche went out there and put the performance he did, but the 49ers felt confident to walk away and cut him, that's a testament. They're happy with what they have on the inside.
Yeah, definitely. Continuing with these questions, we've got one about Toure. How are we feeling about Kamoko Toure? And I know you chopped up the film. I've seen it too. You give me your thoughts on Kamoko Toure.
Dude is a baller. I thought he would be a pass rush specialist only. Holy cow, man. The amount of positive plays that he made was just in the run game, in the pass game, just sound, hustle, winning early, winning late. It was so difficult to find a negative rep from him, and he played a ridiculous amount. He played 46 snaps, which I think was up too close to the most. Ambry Thomas had the most with 53, but I walked away. Jordan Willis, huge step down, just out of position several different times. But Kamoko Toure, just positive. Not a lot of like highlight whatever, but just positive, positive, positive. Understood his run assignments, which was huge because he's coming from a 3-4 to a 4-3. So this is a little bit new for him a little bit as well. And, oh, man, I couldn't take my eyes off 53. Every time he was out there, I was like, ooh. And he just flashed continuously.
Yeah, he was one of my top 5 players from the game.
Yeah.
And Toure, the surprise to me was he's excelled in pass rushing, right? Throughout training camp. There was a day he had 5 sacks against the second and third team defense. But to see him play as well, and even there are plays where he isn't really the guy, like the main guy making the tackle or anything, but just him filling in, it was definitely a good thing to see that you have another guy who could be. Toure right now is the second version of Samson Ebukam to me because he's a guy who can do both, better at pass rushing, but can fill in the run game too. And we talk about Jordan Willis. I was surprised by his performance because he had been looking fairly solid in training camp as a run defender, primarily as a run defender, maybe not as much with the pass rushing yet. But like you said, not really the best game of him so far.
My thing is he just kept losing contain repeatedly. And so if you wanted to like fans kind of talk about Samson like, oh, he doesn't get all those sacks. He's a little bit boring, whatever else. But here's the thing. No missed tackles all year, always where he should be. D'Amico Ryans preaches consistency above all else. You look at Jordan Willis now. Why he had the second highest grade from Pro Football Focus. It got 4 pressures. You watch those pressures; they were on naked bootlegs where he lost contained outside. So yeah, you got to pressure, but not all pressures are the same. And he just was out of place. Probably 7, 8 snaps out of his 35. So you're talking about 1 out of every 3 snaps, negative grade. I don't know. He still flashed. He had some positive plays. There's no doubt. But man, way too many negative plays for a vet that's been in the system now 2 years. I still think he makes this roster, but he's my last D end. Like I moved Kerry Hyder ahead of him. Charles Omenihu's. I think. Let me put it this way: there's 2 tiers. Okay, you've got Nick Bosa by himself, ungodly. Okay,
Yeah.
then you've got a bunch of guys that Samson, Drake Jackson, Charles Omenihu, and now Kamoko Toure. That's that tier. Then below them, Kerry Hyder, and at the very end is Jordan Willis. And I think Kerry Hyder's a little bit different because he can play inside outside. So the versatility, the experience, the scheme fit, but just talent wise, those are my 3 tiers. And Jordan Willis is at the bottom, even though I think he still makes this roster. Very, very bad showing.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully turns it around. He should get more time in this second game, especially because I don't expect guys like Nick Bosa, especially Ark Armstead and all those guys to play again. You'll get a lot more reps for the backups. Willis, like you said, 35 reps in game 1. Could see a similar amount in game 2. And hopefully he turns it around, especially in the run game. Because, I mean, the backup running back in Minnesota is one of the better backups in the entire
Yeah,
league.
yes,
You're
he
going to
is.
go against a pretty solid backup over there in Alexander Madison. So
Man,
it could be
I
a good
want to see
challenge.
Minihu so bad. Like I'm so high on a Minihu. I'm a Longhorn, so I'm biased. I understand, but his efficiency numbers last year were off the charts. And remember, he
Yeah.
got traded mid-season.
Yeah.
Had a great offseason. I want to see him. I want to see him. I really, really want to see that guy.
And I think honestly, in a way, it was just the 49ers showing confidence that they know what they have in Omenihu by letting him sit in a way.
I was
And
shocked.
so,
I was
yeah,
shocked.
I was definitely shocked because I was thinking they'd want to experiment with Omenihu and maybe Drake Jackson or Omenihu and some of these other guys in these rotations, seeing who works well amongst each other. But he got the rest, which was interesting.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, it says a lot whenever you get the healthy guys that don't play, right? So that's a salute. And I think that's where they see Charles Omenihu. And again, I've said this several times this offseason. If I could buy stock in a player to have a huge breakout year, Charles Omenihu is at the top of the list. I just think he's going to ball out. He's going to get that Arden Key role, and I think he's going to be good, man. He's going to be
Yeah,
good.
he's gonna be good.